All right, guys, how's it going? Well, I haven't spoke to you for a while, so I thought I should show you my chubby cheeks. Just check in, make sure you're all right, and that let you know what's going on. So, yeah, how are you doing? You all right? Let me know in the comments, please. So, some of you will know that I have, like a huge interest in true crime. But true crime can cover a lot of different things like podcasts, reading, documentaries, blah, blah, blah. I'm more like specifically interested in trials. I watch live trials every week. When I'm in the USA, Murica, I attend trials. Um, when I go to England, I don't really do that. I haven't done that yet, to be honest with you, because when I go to England, there's people there I want to see. So obviously I live in Spain, so sorry if you don't know that. I live in Spain. So when I go back to England, my time is limited. So I'm not, if I go for a week, I'm not going to go Monday to Friday and sit on a trial or something. I'm going to be seeing, my family, my grandson and things like that. So not really done that in the UK. But if I go to the US, to see my boy Smooth, who lives in New York State, or my friends in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois. Ironically, I have so many friends out there now because of this interest that I have. But I'll get to that in a minute. So when I go to these different places, I like to, attend trials and things like that. I was in Dublin recently, popped along to their huge court there, or courthouse, as some of you might refer to it as. And yeah, it was a phenomenal building that. But I had a specific interest in the Carl Rittenhouse trial. And I've been working on a project, like a little side interest, if you like, to do with that trial for some time. Unfortunately, work is, a little bit overbearing, very busy, and it's prevented me from, concluding that really. But to cut a long story short, my interest in just watching that trial from this very room here, 4,000 miles away from Kenosha, Wisconsin, eventually saw me go out there I don't want to use the word investigate, but to familiarize myself with the trial and the people involved in the trial. And I made friends with witnesses in the trial, for example. The judge in the trial is now a friend of mine. I spent time with him. I met attorneys, private investigators, and other people along the way. So I actually have a huge amount of friends out in Kenosha, Wisconsin, all because of that particular trial. Jerry Buting, for example, some of you might have seen him in the Netflix series Making a Murderer. He was one of the defense attorneys. During my visit to Wisconsin, I also met him. He's a really nice guy. So that took me out to Kenosha, Chicago for, I think, 6 weeks, 4 weeks and 2 weeks, 2 different trips. Mind-blowing experience, and it's just something that I'm really interested in. I do come from a police family, do you know what I mean? Like my old man, God bless him, he was a senior police officer. Maybe that's it, I don't know. But for example, my favourite TV programme is 24 Hours in Police Custody. So I've always got an interest in law and crime and things like that. So since I've been single, which has been a while now, through choice, I'll have oh no, they're all fucking, they're knocking the door down, but I want to get the right one this time. I'm just taking my time with that process. But since I've been single, this is when I've developed this passion, because you have more time on your hands, don't you? I'm not going out, I'm not going on holidays, not doing the couples things and all that. So you sat at home and you're like, well, what shall I watch on telly? And there's fucking nothing to watch on telly, is there? So I started watching trials. And in fact, when I meet my next, love of my life and that, she'll have to accept it. She will. I'll be like, come on, we're off to America, we're off to New York for a couple of weeks. She'll be like, oh, mint, amazing. Are we going shopping? I say, no, I'm going to go and watch this murder trial. She'll have to deal with it, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, I kind of got into it during the last few years. And, I work from home, right? So I'm always at a desk, right? Like this. This is just a casual desk, if you like that. I jump on in my lounge when I need to save me going to my office. But I've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4 different desks in this house, all with computers, all for a different reason as to why I would sit at them to do the different things that I do. One upstairs, for example, is my writing room, where I have been writing on the Carl Rittenhouse trial that was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which I've just spoke to you about. So because I'm always at a desk and I'm always at home all day, it's very good to be able to put a trial on, because it's something that can run in the background and not be something that you have to really focus on and look at, if you know what I mean, because you're listening to what's happening. So instead of listening to talk sport or the radio, music, I put a trial on. And I follow one every week. Now, the one I've been following for some time now, it's probably 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I can't even remember, it seems like an eternity, is the Karen Read trial. You might want to Google it, have a nosy, there's lots of stuff on YouTube about it. Karen, R-E-A-D. And it's really split people, you know, with opinion as to what's gone on here. It's also known as the Boston cop murder trial. Basically, she's accused of reversing her car at high speed into her boyfriend that was a police officer and leaving him for dead in the snow overnight, sort of thing. She denies it. And there is, without going into it, because I would be here forever, there are so many discrepancies and really bizarre things that have happened in this trial, which makes me think, as an independent person, I was going to say that she didn't do it. I don't know if she did it or not, but there is enough doubt that's been created for me to say I couldn't convict this lady, you know. And a lot of underhand tactics. The police are involved in it, because he was a policeman, right? And I'm from a police family, and I know what they can be like. Not my dad or anything, but I met a lot of police men and women over the years. There's some characters, let's just put it that way, and they look after their own, and that is for sure. And it's no different to anybody else or any other thing in life. You look after your own or whatever, or the people that you work with. But that's maybe not very helpful if you're being accused of something you haven't done. But there's so many strange things that happened in this trial, inverting video, the police inverting, you know, CCTV footage to make a car look like it was in a different. Just that was the car, for example, that was supposed to have been, you know, well, that is the focus of this trial, if you like, was in a police garage impounded, you know, and the focus is on one of the headlights, the brake lights, you know, the damage to it, and the police inverted the video and adjusted spun the time. Just some really fucking, why would you do that? You know, it's to make it look like, if you're looking at a vehicle on a CCTV camera in a garage, you can see the two lights, say, at the back of the car maybe. So you got a left one and a right one. But if you were to invert the image, it would swap them round, right? So like, why are they doing stuff like that? You know, so many calls that took place that didn't. The guy, you know, that was murdered, or certainly left for dead, or died. His arm had, you know, these marks down his arm that looked, you know, like, didn't look like it would come from the back of a car. It looked like more like a dog. And the residents of the property where he was found dead outside happened to have a dog, but the next day the dog was gone and they rehomed it. Do you know what I mean? There was a bit of a love triangle thing going on in there, you know, just all sorts of really strange things. One of the defense witnesses, an expert, if you like, in, you know, like animal injuries, if you like, or stuff that had investigated hundreds. I don't know if it was 100 or 200. I don't want to, you know, be making claims that are not true, but certainly in excess of 100 incidents. She said that the marks on his arms were consistent with an animal attack. And my opinion is, if you know anything about this trial, please, you know, I'm not trying to make out that I'm an expert, and I'm completely independent. So the thing is, with this trial, there are people on two sides, like, hang her, she's done it, and, you know, free her, she didn't do it. Very much like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Like, one or the other. Like, I'm really mental with it, you know. And like that trial, I went into that completely independent. I didn't know anything about it prior, just like this one. So I'm not in anybody's camp. And I've been tweeting about, well, hang on, it's not called tweeting these days. I've been posting about it on X using the hashtag Karen Read trial. And I've interacted with people, and I have people following me that think she's guilty and are following me that think she's not, which makes it difficult because you know, I don't want to, if I always think like if I put something out, the one side's going to jump on me and stuff like that. And some of them are obsessed with it, like to the point of the mentally obsessed with it. Like they're not interested in hearing what anybody else has got to say. They don't care about what evidence has been presented in court. They are just like, nah, she's guilty or no, she's innocent. It's awful, really. It's terrible. And it was exactly the same during the Rittenhouse thing. So it's very difficult to find someone that is truly impartial, that's like, don't know if she did it or not, was there this? She, you know, because there's things that I've seen relating to the prosecution, or it's called the Commonwealth in that state, that have said that she did that, and you think, oh, that's a bit weird, that like. But then the defence come up with something, and you're like, oh, but hang on a minute. It's one of them. So there is definitely doubt in this trial. But I've come to the conclusion. So this video is probably more for people that have been following this trial. Like I say, I am independent. I'm not on anybody's side. It is purely an interest to me, and I'm not an expert. But from following all of the trial, I'm hoping that she is not found guilty. I've got to be honest with you. I'm hoping she's not found guilty. I think there was a lot of lies in that trial from the prosecution side. Some of the witnesses, it's just very, very strange situation. And let's not forget the lead investigating officer calling her some horrendous names, saying he hoped she died, talking about very personal illness things to do with private things. Vile, absolutely vile. And he should be disciplined for a start. Disgusting. I mean, imagine being up for, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not going to go into it. But because of if you've watched the trial and you know what I'm talking about a little bit with everything, I just want to say that I hope she's found not guilty. Yeah. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. I have absolutely no idea. So at the moment, at the time of recording this, it's 9 a.m. in Spain. So it's going to be probably another 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours maybe, 7 hours before court's back in session again. The jury are out now deliberating, to see the verdict. So I'm kind of like sat around waiting to see what happens. But this trial has been the most fucked up trial I think I've ever seen. I mean, the Rittenhouse one was something else, but this is just mental. And unfortunately, as Jerry Butin would say, the defense attorney I was talking about earlier from Making a Murderer, I spent a couple of hours with him, and I think he would say, that the US criminal system's pretty dodgy, man. Pretty fucked, you know what I mean? I don't think I'd like to be accused of a serious crime in America. I really don't, especially anything that's linked to do with politics and agenda, because the Rittenhouse thing, like obviously everyone on the left, they wanted him hung. Everyone on the right thought he was an hero, regardless of whether he did it or not, whether he was justified in defending himself. So I would hate to be on trial in America. I've got to be honest. And America's a country I absolutely love. Do you know what I mean? Like, I go there all the time. I was supposed to be going on the 1st of July, but I've rescheduled to November. My best friends out there. I've got loads of friends out there. And, but fuck that. I wouldn't want to be on trial out there. That is for sure. So anyway, yeah, that's my little video I wanted to talk to you about. That's what's on my mind right now. So I'm waiting to see what happens. And there's going to be a meltdown on X, all these different people, because someone's going to be very disappointed. I think the judge as well, I don't think the judge was very impartial. I think the judge was biased as fuck in this trial. I really do. And I'm not going to go into all those reasons because she'd be here forever. But I didn't like the judge in this trial at all. But the sad thing is that someone died as a result of this. And this is supposed to be about trying to find the truth. And I don't think people will ever know the truth as to what happened. I really don't. And it's just weird dodgy. It's weird dodgy. Maybe she did do it. Maybe she did do it and the police went to lengths to make sure she was convicted for it, even if they weren't sure she did. Do you know what I mean? Something's not right in that trial, definitely. So, and for that reason, that's why I think that she should be found not guilty, and I hope that happens. But yeah, they're all going to go mental on social media, whatever. Well, not all of them. One side's going to go mental. The thing is with the true crime people is there's a lot of grifters out there, you know, that do podcasts, the TikToks and all that, fully grown adults doing all that TikToking in it. And, you know, they're out there trying to make money, and that's fine, you know, that's what I want to do. But sometimes it's not very classy, you know, and it can be kind of embarrassing. Like sometimes, you know, that's why I don't like to say, oh yeah, I'm a true crime enthusiast, because I don't want to be lumped in with them fucking lunatics. I just have an interest in law and attending trials, but in a more conservative and professional way, I guess. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, Karen Reid, maybe you want to look it up, see how she gets on. Maybe we'll know today, maybe we'll know tomorrow. The longer that the jury are taking, they've been out 2 days now, I think, I can't remember. You know, people are going, oh, it's not looking good. But I remember him saying that during the Rittenhouse trial as well, and that went on forever. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. Just thought I'd touch base with you. I hope you're all right. Leave me a comment. If you have watched that trial, if you have been following it, please give me your opinions. Don't caps lock me to death. Do you know what I mean? Just, you know, give me your opinions. You see, this is the problem with these people that are involved in this kind of stuff. They're like people that are involved in politics. They're extremists. You know, they won't listen to somebody else's opinion. It's only their opinion that matters. You know, and you get this in politics, don't you? You're fucking, and you're fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be doing with that shit. My opinion is that Summit's way off in his trial. There is massive doubt as to it all. So she should be cleared. That's what I think. Be interesting to see what happens. All right, guys. Speak to you in a bit. Hooray.